For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza, your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331. West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health. And RF Group, money at work.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the Record.
For the Record. For the Record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you. For the Record. Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the Record.
For the Record. For the Record. Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Ort Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees. So fair. Today is the 25th day of October 2021 here in the Cayman Islands. I hope and I trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable weekend. Those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, and there is likely to be more of you on the roads this morning, simply because schools are open again. So those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, we urge you to please, please, please be extremely cautious. Whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or operating any type of motorized vehicle, we urge you to ensure that you observe the rules of the road, and by so doing, the life you save may be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday, or if you celebrated one over the past few days, a belated happy birthday as well. Those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to express our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these very challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing as well. We want to send out special condolences to the family of the late Mr. Jerry Harper as well. Very prominent in the sporting world here in the Cayman Islands as well. For those of you who are not feeling well today, whether you're at home or at a government or a medical facility, we wish you a speedy recovery as well. So folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I'm your host, Ort Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. Beautiful radio voice of Miss Susan Watson waiting to take your calls. You can call us on our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flo. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037, 949-6990. Email us at fortherecord, that is one word, fortherecord at candw.ky. WhatsApp us, 925-3261, where you can send us a text message or a voice note, the contents of which will be played during the course of the show. And of course, you can follow us on YouTube. simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. Later on this morning, after our news, we will have members of government or government entities in the studio with us. Meanwhile, we will have an open line for you to call in, and if you have any questions, comments, or observations, we welcome those as well. In the meantime, I will share with you the last update that I have as far as COVID-19 figures are concerned, and that was issued on the 22nd, which would have been Friday the 22nd of October. And the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. John Lee, reported that as of 8 a.m. on Friday, there had been 574 PCR tests since it was last reported on Thursday, the 21st of October. Of those, there were 4 positive travelers tested on exit from quarantine and 30 positive tests from the community, which included 11 children. Both of the admissions to hospital remain stable, and he also pointed out that to date there have been 111,772 COVID-19 vaccinations given in total in the Cayman Islands, and that represents 56,106 persons, or 79% of our estimated population who have had at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, and 76% have completed the 2-dose course. And in addition to that, 1,853 of those over the age of 50 have had a 3rd booster shot as well. So that was one piece of news that I will share with you. Another one has to do with the lateral flow kit tests and Cabinet's waivers of the duty on those. We keep hearing about duty concessions, and of course, I am sure the monetary value on the lateral flow kits is probably a drop in the bucket compared to the concessions that are given otherwise. Let's say, for instance, in the construction industry, construction of hotels and condos. So Cabinet last week waived duty on all brands of the antigen detecting rapid diagnostic test for COVID-19, also known as a lateral flow test, that meets government's guidelines for importation. The arrival of lateral flow tests in the Cayman Islands, Deputy Premier and Minister of Finance and Economic Development, Honorable Christopher Saunders, explained, means that large numbers of people can self-administer inexpensive tests that will allow the prompt identification of individuals who are positive for COVID-19 and minimize time in quarantine or isolation for those who are negative. Mr. Saunders is quoted as commenting, there are significant social, economic, and mental health benefits to the capability for rapid testing, which outweigh any revenue that government may have foregone. With the Cayman Islands currently experiencing community spread of COVID-19, officials believe there is potentially a need for hundreds of thousands of tests costing around $2.50 each to allow businesses, sports clubs, and similar organizations to remain open. Deputy Premier is also quoted as saying, "We hope the duty waiver will act as an incentive for vendors to import approved test kits themselves and pass the savings on to the consumer." That's a quote by the Deputy Premier. The release goes on to say that government has itself already imported some 11,000 tests working with Crown agents in the United Kingdom. Shortly after the test arrived on Ireland, a pilot rapid testing program was successfully rolled out on Sunday the 16th of October by Public Health to a large group of families in isolation. There were 220 participants, of whom 2 tested positive. Households in which all members tested negative were allowed to immediately leave isolation. And of course, government also published rapid test importation guidelines surrounding the importation of the antigen detecting rapid diagnostic test for COVID-19. The new regulations specify that imported tests must have been recommended or approved for use by a national public health agency in any of the following countries. So here are the countries that the rapid tests can be obtained from: the United States of America, the United Kingdom, European Union, Australia, New Zealand, Jamaica, or Canada. The regulations also require that approval of tests must have been preceded by rigorous documented testing. In addition, the regulations state that tests must have a sensitivity, that is, the ability to identify persons with COVID-19. So it must have a sensitivity of at least 80% and a specificity of at least 97%. Now, specificity refers to the ability to identify persons without the disease as well. So it has to be specific. While the medical officer for health may make exemptions to these requirements, all exemptions must be published in the Cayman Islands Gazette or a similar channel. So if there are exemptions made by the medical officer for health, those exemptions must be published in the Cayman Islands Gazette. Section 1 to 3 of the regulations also briefly outline requirements for registered and accredited practitioners, healthcare facilities, and medical tourism facilities to provide PCR testing for COVID-19 in the Cayman Islands. It also details the requirements for reporting positive test results to the Public Health Department as well. So that covers the press release in relation to the introduction and the waiver of duties on lateral flow test kits in the Cayman Islands. I will also be sharing with you details on the press briefing reopening set for the 20th of November. But first, we will take a commercial break. When we return, I will share with you details from the press briefing that was held on Friday, the 22nd of October, 2021. So, folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Reverend John Ray Gray, MBE, 1910 to 1992. John Gray was born in Scotland and educated as a mining engineer. While working in the coal fields of Lancashire, he received a calling to enter the ministry, and in 1937 he was ordained as a minister of the Church of Scotland. His first posting was to Nazarland, now Malawi. In 1939, at the beginning of World War II, he was posted to Jamaica. In 1948, he was invited by Reverend George Hicks to visit the Cayman Islands, and in 1949, he and his wife, Mary Nee Wright, and their 2 children, they would eventually have 5, arrived in Cayman to stay. He was posted to the West Bay charge of the Presbyterian Church, which now bears his name, and under his auspices, he started Cayman High School, also later named for him. He served as headmaster from 1949 to 1974, then worked as a bookkeeper for 10 years, remaining active in the United Church all his life. He was a Sea Scout Master, a life member of the Red Cross, and a charter member and Paul Harris Fellow of the Rotary Club of Grand Cayman.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
The Rotary Central Music Extravaganza 2021 tickets are here. Get your $25 ticket and stand a chance to win the grand prize of $40,000, second prize $4,000, and 6 $1,000 prizes. The Music Extravaganza music event, Saturday, November 27th at Salty's Grand Harbor, featuring CNB, Deja Blue, the Fabulous 68s. Tickets now on sale by Rotary members, authorized ticket sellers, and at eventpro.ky. 26 years of Rotary Music Extravaganza, funding over 70 community projects of significance since 1995. Rotary Central, Cayman Islands. Registered not-for-profit number 232. Rotary Central. Serve to change lives.
West Bay, home to Barkas National Park, the touristy flair, a family community, a political powerhouse. From sports enthusiasts to car aficionados, affection for silver thatch roof. No matter how far you may venture, West Bay will always be where the heart is. Home will always be in West Bay. West Bay Pharmacy, caring for your home and your family. West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient, quality care is just around the corner.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vamped Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vamped Motors, Walkers Road.
Had a look at those investment options yet? Too busy. Look at today. Workout, breakfast, take the kids to school, back-to-back meetings, take Pepper to the vet, and she's apparently got allergies now, so... And that was all before 12. But you look relaxed.
That's because my money's as busy as you.
With RF, you can access the best in local and international investments to keep your money busy, so you can spend more time focusing on you. Contact us at rfgroup.com to find out more. RF, money at work.
Make your house into a home. Welcome to Brand Source Home Gallery, your source for premium products and a premium experience. We'll design and install your dream kitchen with crafted cabinets, complemented with elegant appliances. We'll fill it with quality houseware and cookware. Custom designed closet and storage solutions organize and beautify any area. And with the finest bedding, you'll get a perfect night's sleep knowing Brand Source Home Gallery has everything you need to make your house a home.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, K-Man.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio yet. We will have guests after our 8 o'clock news. Meanwhile, I'm sharing as much information as I can with you in terms of what occurred last week and the press releases issued by government. After this one, if time allows, I will also share with you what the Reopen Cayman organization has how they have responded in relation to government's decision to reopen the Cayman Islands borders. So, this press release reads, Cayman Islands will reopen its borders for nearly all vaccinated travelers on Saturday, the 20th of November, 2021. Folks, keep that date in mind. Saturday, the 20th of November, 2021. Honorable Wayne Patton announced this at a COVID-19 update press conference on Friday at the Government Administration Building and reiterated that the transition into Phase 4 means quarantine requirements for most vaccinated travelers will be removed. I'm going to repeat that again. The Premier, Honorable Wayne Patton, reiterated that the transition into Phase 4 means quarantine requirements for most vaccinated travelers will be removed. He said the reopening will be planned and run according to the plan to ensure government continues to take strong, sensitive, pragmatic, and safe approach to the reopening. This now gives us an opportunity as a country to rebuild our reputation as a world-class tourism destination and get many families and businesses back to work, the Premier is quoted as saying. Addressing the press conference with him were Minister for Health, Honorable Sabrina Turner, and Minister for Tourism, Honorable Kenneth Bryan, Deputy Governor, Honorable France Manderson, as well as the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. John Lee. Prayers were led by Pastor Steve Brady of First Baptist Church, noting that the reopening can create an increased risk of community transmission and hospitalizations. The Premier pointed out that the pandemic is already in the Cayman Islands community and is being managed. It's quoted as saying, COVID-19 will be with us for the foreseeable future, but we know there is no better time than now to continue with our reopening plan. Our guiding principles will remain the same, safeguarding the health of our community, protecting our health services, and being guided by the best data and science. Thanking all in the community for their patience and those who have been working to make the reopening happening, the Premier noted that government will continue to liaise with our private and civic sector stakeholders for the finalization of the details required for the operations and logistics of implementing the reopening plan. There has been a dedicated team of well-qualified and highly experienced individuals working day in and day out. He emphasized, and I quote, "Now is the time for us to come together as one Cayman and embrace the reopening of our country as an opportunity for a fresh start. However, this is going to require corporate responsibility, personal responsibility, and a sense of collective responsibility. We are moving forward with a safe and sustained reopening that protects our healthcare and education systems." He also added, "I thank you for your time today and encourage you all to be responsible for your own health and safety. Get vaccinated and get your booster when it is your turn. I did mine today." And if you want any additional details about the press briefing, you can visit the Cayman Islands government YouTube live broadcast at www.youtube.com/watch. Okay? So, we then see where on the same date at around 7 o'clock, 6:59 p.m., Reopen Cayman issued a media release as well. And here's what they say. Reopen Cayman welcomes the government's decision to reopen Cayman's borders on the 20th of November 2021. The group of local business leaders who has been campaigning as Reopen Cayman for the reopening of Cayman's borders they were campaigning for the reopening on the 22nd of November. Today, that is on Friday, welcomed the Cayman Islands government's announcement to prepare for moving to Phase 4 of the reopening plan on the 20th of November 2021. The group has been conducting a public awareness campaign, #ReadyToReopen, which aims to educate and inform the general public that we can safely coexist with COVID-19 in the community and that we must get ready to reopen our borders. And here's the quote. As a group of Caymanian business leaders representing industries right across the private sector, we are pleased that following the pause, the government has announced that we will now move to Phase 4 of the reopening plan on the 20th of November 2021, said Miranda Marin, Hurley's, and a member of the private sector group. We are hugely supportive of the collaborative effort in recent weeks by the government, the Civil Service Department, and the private sector in developing a plan that allows us to reopen our borders safely. This presents Cayman with our best opportunity to get many businesses up and running again and start down the road of recovery for our communities and our economy. As we move forward to the next phase, we need to ensure we keep safe social practices top of our mind as we share responsibility for each other's well-being. Recognizing the government's delivery on its promise to provide businesses and the wider community at least 4 weeks' notice of the date for reopening the borders, the group further acknowledged that there is more work to do to get ready and prepare the community. Speaking about the group's #ReadyToReopen campaign, Paul Pearson of Davenport Development said, "While we appreciate the enormous efforts that have created the opportunity to reopen by ensuring the process and resources are in place to safely coexist with COVID-19 in the community, we also know that there is more to do in the coming weeks to help many in the community prepare." The Hashtag Ready to Reopen initiative will continue to educate and inform our community that we can reopen safely. We will support the government by sharing information and helping our business and communities get ready to reopen. As a group, we, along with many others, are ready to reopen on the 20th of November, but we fully recognize that being ready to reopen will look and feel different to everyone, said Pearson. The hashtag Ready to Reopen campaign provided the opportunity for individuals, groups, and businesses to make the pledge to reopen. More than 2,000 have done so already, and we encourage everyone to make the pledge when they feel ready to do so, said Pearson. We need to feel ready as a community, and with the pledge, we are providing the opportunity for all to have their voices heard when they are ready to reopen. And they tell you how you can make a pledge. To visit www.reopencayman.com as well. So, folks, there it is, the government's press briefing. Hashtag Ready to Reopen, their statement agreeing with the government to reopen on the 20th of November. Folks, top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Conner. And studio time now by Foster's is 8 o'clock.
When you're on the go, let the Island Supermarket shop for you.
To start, head to fosters.ky/go.
Then shop all of your favorite products online, from produce and seafood to grocery and frozen, all picked by our team of shoppers ready to go.
Choose next day curbside pickup from Foster's Camana Bay or delivery island-wide.
To get your order started, visit fosters.ky/go.
This is Groceries on the Go.
And we are Foster's Go. Shop online anytime.
The 8 a.m. News is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. Please be advised that the pension contribution holiday has been extended until 31st of December 2021. Employers and plan members should ensure arrangements are in place for salary deductions and remittance following this date. Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan, keeping you informed. For further information, visit chamberpension.ky. And for information as it happens, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Email admin@pensions.ky or call 745-7630. We're here for you.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. The extended midterm break for government students has wrapped up with classes starting back today. I touched base with Director of Department of Education Services, Mark Ray, this morning on what can be expected. So students are heading back to the classrooms today after this extended midterm break. Now, that was a result of the COVID-19 community transmission. What's on the agenda for today?
We are encouraging students and staff to maintain the same safety protocols that we've utilized all along to help suppress the spread of COVID-19. That would be good hand hygiene, mask wearing, social distancing where possible, and of course the sanitization of high contact areas. We're also reaching out to parents to encourage them to be vigilant and make sure that if your child is displaying flu-like symptoms, that you keep them at home, contact your primary care physician if you have serious concerns.
We do have a new tool in Cayman for helping identify COVID-19. Are you guys planning to make use of that?
We certainly will be working with the Ministry of Health and the Public Health Department to look at the deployment of lateral flow tests to see how that will impact our ability to keep students in person at school as much as possible, because that is a critical need for us to make sure that our students are getting as much face-to-face time as possible. So we just urge parents and students, staff, to be vigilant and continue to implement the good practices that we've been implementing all along.
Director of the Department of Education Services there, Mark Ray. And with the reopening of the islands to vaccinated tourists and no quarantine as of November 30th, one less barrier has been removed for the return of the tourism industry, at least by air. Tourism Minister, the Honourable Kenneth Bryan, is hoping other international airlines will follow the lead set by British Airways, JetBlue, and now Air Canada, which will resume flights between Toronto and Cayman on December 4th.
I thank these airlines for their confidence that they are showing in the government's reopening strategy, and I hope that following today's announcement, the other international carriers will consider bringing all their return dates forward in line with the government's commitment to reopening.
Mr. Bryan there speaking at Friday's government press briefing, which you heard live right here on Radio Cayman. Along with Cayman Airways expanding its direct flight service, including to Tampa, British Airways and JetBlue have also resumed their flights. In regional news, it would have been unthinkable 12 months ago as the cruise industry reeled from the effects of COVID, but one operator is now offering an epic new voyage that will last 9 months and take travelers to more than 150 destinations. Royal Caribbean Cruise Line's Serenade of the Seas is set to commence sailing in December 2023 from Miami, sailing for 274 nights before returning to Florida in September 2024. In a statement, Royal Caribbean International President Michael Bailey said the trip, dubbed the Ultimate World Cruise, is designed to help travel-starved cruisers make up for lost time. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News, I'm John Shea. Sudan's military has dissolved the transitional government, arrested the Prime Minister and declared a nationwide state of emergency. General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, who'd been the head of the country's ruling council, announced the takeover in a televised address. He blamed political infighting and promised that elections would be held in 2023. Large crowds are on the streets of the capital, Khartoum, to condemn the coup. The World Food Programme says Afghanistan is on a countdown to catastrophe, with millions facing starvation. The aid organisation warns that more than half the population is suffering hunger every day. UN scientists say global emissions of greenhouse gases reached another record last year, despite the economic slowdown caused by the pandemic. They say the upward trend has continued this year. A German Muslim convert has been jailed for 10 years over the killing of a Yazidi child she and her husband bought as a slave when Iraq was occupied by the Islamic State group. A court in Munich found that Jennifer Vanish allowed her husband to chain the girl outside, leaving her to die. Microsoft has warned that hackers based in Russia have again targeted hundreds of companies. The technology giant's cybersecurity experts blamed Nobelium, the agency behind attacks on the US government and private firms last year. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. Are you aware of the performance of your pension plan? The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan provides quarterly fund fact sheets for our members to stay informed with the plan's performance. For the year ended 30th of April, 2021, the various life cycle funds have provided returns between 10.5% and 43.2%. And our all-in expense ratio for year ended 30th of June, 2020 is currently the lowest it's ever been. 0.72%. Visit chamberpension.ky to review our fund fact sheets. You can see the performance as far back as 10 years. Remember that pensions are a longer-term investment strategy. Focus on the long-term rather than the short-term returns. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan continues to perform for you.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Hurricane season is here. If you're not prepared, it can really turn your life upside down. Fortunately, there's CG Brit-K. Our people are here ready to assist at a moment's notice, with protection like alternative accommodation for those who are displaced due to a storm, and coverage for the cost of clearing debris, hiring surveyors, architects, and more. It's our priority to make sure you have what you need when you need it most. So when your life gets turned upside down, we can help to turn it around. CG Brit-K. Good like that.
The Department of Commerce and Investment is asking clients to use their online services at www.dci.gov.ky. dci.gov.ky for trade and business amendments, grant and renewal applications, and more. While the DCI counters remain open from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, you can stay safe, avoid the line, and save time by applying online for business services at dci.gov.ky. Questions about the DCI's online service or other licensing, enforcement, or regulatory matters, please email info@dci.gov.ky.
Do you want to serve your community? How about learning new and exciting skills? The Cayman Islands Regiment is now accepting applications for volunteers. Caymanian and permanent resident applicants should be between 18 and 50 with a clean police record. No military experience is required. Apply online at www.gov.ky/CI Regiment. Applications close on November 15th, 2021.
The 8:10 a.m. Weather Report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by Pan American International Insurance Corporation. Pan American International Insurance Corporation, meeting the life, accident, and health insurance needs of individuals and businesses to ensure financial security and peace of mind. For more information, call 949-8304 or visit www.palig.com. That's PALIG.com.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 83 degrees. Relative humidity is 79%. The barometric pressure is 29.98 inches and rising. The wind is out of the southeast at 5 knots. Overnight low temperature was 80 degrees. Synopsis indicate a tropical wave currently extending south of Jamaica is expected to move near the Cayman area tomorrow morning, supporting periods of cloudiness and showers. Now the forecast for today and tonight, calling for partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers and possible thunder, and temperatures will be in the upper 80s today and will fall to the mid-70s tonight. Winds will be southeast at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. We're presently at a low tide, and the next high tide will be this afternoon at 12:59, low tide tonight at 7:50, and a high tide also tonight at 10:59. The sun will set this evening at 5:54 and rise tomorrow morning at 6:24. And the outlook is calling for a decrease in cloudiness and showers from Tuesday morning as a tropical wave moves west of the Cayman area. That's the very latest on your weather report.
Pan American Life Insurance Group can help you take your employee benefit solution to the next level. For more than 110 years, millions of people have trusted PALIG because we've always delivered on our promise. PALIG is the only insurer providing group policies to as few as 3 employees and has the ability to combine life, health, disability, and income protection to provide you and your employees with a complete employee benefits package. Let us customize your employee benefits solution today. Call us at 949-8304 or visit our office at Unit 221, Cannon Place East, North Sound Road, or visit us online at www.palig.com. Pan American Life, people you can trust for life.
The 8:10 a.m. Weather Report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by Pan American International Insurance Corporation. Pan American International Insurance Corporation, meeting the life, accident, and health insurance needs of individuals and businesses to ensure financial security and peace of mind. For more information, call 949-8304 or visit www.palig.com. That's PALIG.com.
We at Pan American Life Insurance Group are here to help you protect your family and your income. For more than 110 years, millions of people have trusted PALIG because we have always delivered on our promise. Life insurance is not only about death, but also about living benefits. We'll help you secure the life insurance, accident and sickness disability income you need to protect you and your family. Call us today at 949-8304 or visit our office, Unit 221, Cannon Place East, North Sound Road, or visit www.palig.com. Pan American Life, people you can trust for life.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by Encourse Cayman. Visit encourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. Encourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Achieving your goals is a very rewarding feeling, but at times can feel very frustrating, especially if and when we miss our target. As you approach your goals in life, set yourself up for success.
When setting your goals, have a deadline. Procrastination is common in human nature. Setting a time to review the work helps to increase motivation because you know that you have to have it done by a certain time. This also ensures that you slow down to review progress. Consider rewards if things are going well. If things are not going as well as you would like, a deadline gives you a chance to pause and reflect on the current goal to see if there may be something getting in the way of being able to get it done.
Change your thinking and change your life.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming. Just know you are not alone. OnCourse Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Top of the morning to you. Let's take a look at what's happening on our roads. Coming from the east, steady traffic on Shamrock Road, and as you approach the Linford Pearson Highway, busy traffic. Slight delays expected, and also busy coming off of Agnes Way, and steady traffic off of Bobby Thompson Way. On Cool Road, heading to Georgetown, traffic is steady but flowing, and eastbound traffic on Cool Road moving on moderately. Coming from the West Bay four-way stop, traffic flowing moderately. No issues on Owen Roberts Drive. And in Georgetown, as we look what's happening downtown Georgetown on Edward Street and Shedden Road, coming out of Shedden Road, not looking too bad as traffic is flowing at a good pace. On the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz, traffic is moderate in both directions, and traffic flowing pretty good on Godfrey Dixon Way and Easton Avenue. Steady traffic on Hulda Avenue and continuing on to Elgin Avenue, traffic is moderate. That's the very latest on your traffic. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12 o'clock. We'll give you another traffic report. Have a good morning and click it or ticket.
At Subway, we caramel a lot about our customers, so we decided to give you 2 treats in one with the new Caramel Apple Cookie. Enjoy cinnamon apples, caramel bits, and salted caramel crunch baked in, and topped with a drizzle of caramel-flavored icing. Gooey, crunchy, and yummy. Complete your Subway sandwich, pizza, or salad with the delicious Caramel Apple Cookie or any other cookie flavor and dessert, available for a limited time at all Subway locations. Subway, eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Dreaming of a great career or degree? The Caribbean Examinations Council offers regionally and internationally recognized qualifications to help you get there. These include the Caribbean Certificate of Secondary Level Competence, CCSLC, the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate, CSEC, the Caribbean Vocational Qualification, CVQ, Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination, CAPE, and the CXC Associate Degree. These exams may be done while in school or out of school at private learning institutions. Visit cxc.org to learn more. With CXC, you're in control.
We asked 100 people what they would do with a little extra time. Top answers included hang with friends, sleep, volunteer, walking on the beach, watch TV. But the odd thing is, no one said, stand in line to pay my bill. Funny that. Now Logic introduces Logic My Account. Pay online, view bill history, schedule automatic payments, and more. Go to logic.ky/my account and pay online, not stand in line. Logic My Account. Go on. Give yourself a little extra time. Bake a cake, browse the web, yoga, spring clean.
Healthcare Pharmacy, caring about your health for the past 25 years. Radio Cayman's premier health show.
Alzheimer's and dementia, are they the same disorder?
Yeah, I think that's a very important question.
For the Health of It with Tara Bush.
For the Health of It with Tara Bush.
Is heard on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. and on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Brought to you by Healthcare Pharmacy in Grand Harbor, where they care about your health. Transfer and refill your prescription online. Visit healthcarepharmacy.ky or call 947-8900. Healthcare Pharmacy, now with a new and second location in Governor's Square. The new Healthcare Pharmacy in Governor's Square is open Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Healthcare Pharmacy, where they care about your health.
For the Record with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the Record with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We expect to have government officials in at 8:30, hopefully. Meanwhile, we want to give a special shout out and a happy birthday greetings to Miss Carmela McLean. I hope I'm pronouncing that well, Carmela McLean of the Brack. She's better known as Aunt Dolly or Miss Dolly Carmela, okay? She is the matriarch of the Chrissy Tomlinson family. And so from all of the family, including her nieces and nephews and all of her friends, a happy 91st birthday. Happy 91st birthday. And I'm told that it's pronounced Carmela. So happy birthday to Miss Carmela. Okay, so here's something. We do have a caller? Okay, and after the caller, I'm going to share with you the news about the ex gratia stipend that is available for families who are under required home isolation from public health as well. I think that's going to be extremely important because you heard several persons express, including the leader of the opposition and deputy leader, express their concerns about those persons who are required to isolate as a result of no fault of their own, and some of whom were experiencing financial difficulties as well. But first, let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Oh, see, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Not bad, yourself?
I'm good, thanks.
I hope I'm not getting too personal, OC, but it kind of evolves around the question I can ask you. But, I mean, if you don't want to answer it, I mean, it's fine. I respect that. Have you had your booster shot?
No, I planned on doing it on Friday, and when I crossed there was lots of cars in the lot, and I wanted to listen to the government press briefing. Now, I was told afterwards that sometimes it's not too busy, and when you see the number of cars in the parking lot there, they may represent the persons who are working in there. So that is why I didn't. But today, as a matter of fact, you call at a good time because one of our listeners sent me a WhatsApp message inquiring as to when were the shots available today. And today they're at Lions Center from 11 o'clock in the morning until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then again from 4:30 in the afternoon until 7 p.m. in the evening. That is today at the Lions Center as well. So go ahead, caller.
Yeah, see, I went and had my my booster shot. And, I asked the guy there a couple of questions. I I don't know whether he was a nurse or a doctor, but, you know, some things men is absolutely no good at, right?
Mm.
And when I speak facts, I mean experience. When I had my two first jobs, one was at the Georgetown Hospital, and the other was
at the airport.
Airport, that's correct. And I never felt a thing. I'm sitting on there waiting for the woman to job me, and she say, "Mr. Thompson, you already finished? You done?" I say, "You're joking." So I never felt a thing. The first one, nothing whatsoever. The second one, I was a little bit weak the second day, so I just kind of chilled out, and that was gone in one day. And no sore arm, nor nothing. At the Lion Center, I went there a couple of weeks ago and got this job. And I mean, I asked the guy, I say, is this COVID booster that we're getting, is it the same as the first shots that we previously got? Say, yeah, there's no difference in it. So I did ask that question just to make sure in case.
In terms of maybe in terms of the type, but not necessarily the dosage.
Pfizer, yeah. Pfizer.
Okay.
Yeah. He said, yeah, it's all the same, no different. So my arm is still bothering me up to, I had that last, I think it was Saturday a week ago, right? And my arm is still bothering me. So I don't know why is that. So if you're going to get your shot, let me give you a little bit of advice. If a guy can give you that job, tell him no. You want a woman to do it because he knows.
You think it makes a difference?
I'm not being prejudiced or anything like that. Let's make this man give you a job because I guarantee you can be sorry of it.
Okay.
Go
ahead.
So my wife went and had hers also, and hers is she had hers on Thursday, and hers is still a bit sore up to this morning. So I just can't figure that out at all.
Some people will react. Some people will react differently to it. I have a sister who's 80. I think it's 84 years young because she's older than me, but acts much younger than I do. She's out in the yard all of the time with her plants and stuff like that, and she had no effect whatsoever. I have a cousin who had it, and he. Felt differently, even though the first time he didn't feel, on the first two shots, he didn't feel anything. So it really, really, really depends on the individual and, your body type. I think there's another word for that, but, your body makeup. It really depends on it. But at the end of the day, with all of the discomfort, you're protected now.
Yeah, it's one other little thing I like to touch on, Jose. I was planning on calling you this morning to discuss about not calling this talk show anymore, right? But I was so pleased, and I mean, I was so happy going into Savannah this morning. The lights are off, right? But the police is there.
Oh, okay. At the school?
Yeah, this puzzles me, right? So I come down now. I say, before I call, I want to make sure now that the lights in Red Bay are off also before I call. So I drive through there, and the lights are off, but there's a police car there also. So do you have any knowledge of what is going on there with it? I mean, you're allowed to drive 40 miles an hour now when the light is not blinking. Am I correct?
Whatever the speed limit is in that area.
Yeah, it's 40 miles an hour.
Okay.
Right? I mean, down south on is 30 miles an hour, but that's part of the highway going up there, 40 miles an hour. So what is the police doing sitting down there, still monitoring traffic to do 15 miles an hour, and the schools are out and the lights are off?
Okay. I don't have any answer to that, but hopefully someone will hear you and call in and tell us why. At the end of the day, just like what you're trying to promote, which is safety for the school children, but at the same time, but remember now, school is back. School is in today, right? You know that.
Is it? No.
Yes. Supposed to be.
Well, I just see it look like teacher covers are there. It's not a lot of stuff going on. So
school is back in. Should be back in.
Okay. Well, that explains that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. Let's see if we can grab another caller before we go to the break. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Oh, not too bad, thanks. I heard some of your talk show this morning before 8, but not all of it. But I did hear where you said 4 travelers tested positive at the end of the quarantine. Can you tell me how long they were in quarantine for? Did they have their COVID shots, and how much longer will they be in quarantine for now that they tested positive?
I didn't have that information, unfortunately. I just read what they normally report. But you have a good point there. I think it would be helpful if they were to give us additional information as to, like whether or not those persons were vaccinated and things of that nature. I think they're a little bit too cursory when it comes to the information that they're providing. The public wants to know more because people want to know whether or not this whole vaccination thing is working, and more so you want to know whether how exposed those persons who are not vaccinated, how exposed they are, and where. But we know in other countries that the persons, most of the persons who are infected are the persons who have not been vaccinated.
But even those of us that are vaccinated, people are still getting it. Those that are vaccinated.
Oh yeah, they pointed out that they pointed out that
stop hiding all this information from the public.
Yeah, I agree that they should give us more. But remember now, the vaccination is not intended to prevent you from getting the COVID-19. It is intended and designed to minimize the effect of COVID-19.
Yeah, originally that was intention, though, not to keep you from getting it.
I don't think that they explained it. They didn't explain it properly. I don't think. Yeah.
They didn't explain it properly. They probably didn't know themselves. I suppose.
Yeah, it is a learning experience for everyone as we go along. Yeah, it is. I agree.
Yes, but they have to give us more information because more people are going to end up getting it, and then nobody hasn't died yet since the last outbreak, but that don't mean that we might lose a couple of our people, and I hope that day doesn't come.
I agree. I agree with you, caller, and whether or not, and I don't want to sound alarmist, and I'm not a scientist, but whether or not there's a possibility of when if we get too many infections here, whether or not another variant may develop right here. We don't know that as well. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Lord knows what the future is.
That's true. So true. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. You have a great day. Folks, time for us to take a commercial break. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Are you feeling sick, but don't feel ill enough to go to the doctor? Ask your pharmacist for advice. Here at West Bay Pharmacy, our pharmacists have been trained to offer helpful, easy-to-understand advice on the treatment of everyday minor ailments for yourself and all the family. Anything from headaches, cough and sore throat, to cold sores, our pharmacists will know when medical help is needed and will not hesitate to refer you to your doctor if your symptoms demand it. Like doctors, our pharmacists have a professional code, which means all personal information you give them will be treated in the strictest confidence. Visit us today at West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab. Blood test, x-ray, and mammogram, all of that is MedLab. Affordable fees and friendly service, a full professional team. MedLab is always comfortable, MedLab is always clean. For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Call 949-7331 and ask about MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
Avoid contact with standing water and floodwaters during and after a storm to prevent exposing yourself to serious health risks, including infectious diseases, chemical hazards, and injuries. As an added precaution, your emergency kit should also include personal safety equipment such as rubber boots and gloves. For more useful hurricane preparedness tips, visit the Water Authority's website at www.waterauthority.ky or follow us on social media.
Is your child involved in remote learning at a Cayman Islands government school? Rest assured that the Ministry of Education and the Department of Education Services are committed to ensuring continuity of learning for all our students. In addition to providing our over 5,000 students with laptops, our schools have developed individualized educational plans, identified suitable online learning platforms, and continue to prepare students and parents to use these platforms in line with the COVID-19 guidance for educational institutions. View the complete guidance document at www.exploregov.ky/coronavirus. This is a message from the Ministry of Education and the Department of Education Services.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio yet. I'm going to say yet. So let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning. I hope you're not going to get offended from what I'm going to tell you, but this is the truth.
Okay.
I agree with it. Not the previous caller, the one before the last one, before you went on the break. But I had that vaccine, and let me tell you, that never killed me, not at all. I don't know what it is they put to me, but that I've never been sick in my life.
How long?
In fact, I still feel bad. Today's 1 week since I had it, and a man gave it to me too, so I don't know if that makes a difference, like he said. But when he gave it to me, I never feel one thing. Just like he said, I thought that he never had given it to me yet, and he said he finished. But let me tell you what I've been through, because they've even telling me that they probably put the COVID in me. Maybe I need to go to hospital, because right now, it messed up my breathing. I am breathing like faster than what I was breathing before. I had fever. I had the blister on my lip from the fever. I had fever 3 nights. Every part on my body, Mr. Oshie, hurt me. My very eyes were hurting me.
And this is from the booster?
From the booster, yes,
okay.
sir.
Did they recommend anything like that you should take a paracetamol or anything like that?
Listen to me now. Listen to me, I can tell you, but I should have realized that I cannot take pills that are powder or pills neither. If they're capsules or coated or whatever, I could take them. But I went and drank, because when I went to West Bay with my friend...
Hello. We lost, losing the caller. Hello, caller, you there? Are you there, caller? Hello? Miss Susan, something happened with the other caller.
Hello?
Yeah. I'm not sure what happened. I'm sorry I apologize for that. Go right ahead.
The doctor recommended that she took Panadol multi-symptom. And we went to the drugstore, and she bought some, and she gave me 4. But I never had took none. So I had them. And when I got after I took the booster, the afternoon, because they were giving them, I took it to the community office up here.
Okay.
Savannah.
Yeah.
They were giving them from 4 to 7. So they said that I could get it, and I said, well, first they were saying the most vulnerable in age over 70, but then they said no, over 60. So they told me I could get it. So they sent me home to get my card, because the guy said I had to have the vaccine more than 6 months, and I said, well, I had mine February, March. Anyway, I came and I got it, and I get it. And I wouldn't tell you a lie. I never feel nothing for a little while after, but afterward the arms start to pain and stuff. And then I tell you, I got pains. I have my legs, my rib cage, under my shoulder blade, my eye, and right now I still feel bad. And my niece had it in New York. Listen to me, my sister just came from New York last Tuesday, and my niece had, and it gave me cough, and I had no cough, and I'm coughing, and I got no flu, and I was stuffed up. Well, you can hear how I sound. I don't have nothing coming out my nose. I don't have a cold, because I was waiting to take the flu shot, but I get stuffed up, and I coughing there now and then, because Friday, one lady jumped up from by me on the bus, and I said, well, I'm not going to beat me up like I want to beat up that Jamaican in Jamaica, because I don't have no COVID.
Do you think that you're at the point where you may want to take one of those lateral flow tests or something like that, just to see exactly what your condition is?
Well, I don't know, because my friends they were telling me that maybe I should go to the hospital, because they didn't even notice my breathing, because when I put on my mask, they noticed the mask, pulling in and bleeding out.
Again, I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but if I were you, I would speak to your physician, your doctor, and see what they tell you, and take it from there. If it's been a week since you're feeling the way you are, you may want to really get that checked out. And you spoke about your niece in New York. How did she react?
Well, I tell you, my sister said, because actually, good thing I don't work. But she is an immigration lawyer in New York, and she works in the city, but she lives on Staten Island, and she could not go to work for 2 weeks, but she better now.
Okay.
And my sister told me, she had the same cough like what you have, just dry cough, same thing, and she had the same body aches and stuff. So I tell her myself, and she way younger than me. I was saying it might be my age. I'm getting too old now. My immune system boiling down to nothing.
Yeah, talk to your doctor about it, and keep us up to speed in terms of if you want, because this is your personal details in relation to your health. But if you feel that there's anything out there that the public should know, please let us know as well. Thank you very much for that. We have another caller. 2 callers. So let's grab the next caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning.
Well, good morning, O.C.
How are you?
Fine. Enjoying the sunshine.
Good.
Yes, sir. I just listening to the last caller. That is very alarming. Yeah. So I definitely know is more cautious. What, O.C. Can you just tell me something? Say, what would be the purpose in having some, business owners, someone choosing, the outcome or trying to say they're looking out for us. When we know it's just to have them get back into making the money and making, the people go back to work and have the rat race continue again. Why would we just jump into that again after we just had such a major scare? I wonder why. I mean, what would be your answer? What do you think?
Well, I would say that anyone out there who tells you that they're doing something for your good, take it with a grain of salt, and you have to know the person or the organization, and you have to know what it is that they represent. Private companies, commercial companies out there, while they may have a corporate citizenship responsibility, they're out there. Their main purpose, unless they're a non-for-profit organization, their main purpose is to make profits, either for themselves or for their shareholders of their company. And in most instances, everything else is secondary.
O.C., thank you very much for that answer, O.C. I would ask you something else, but I want to leave that. Thank you very much.
Okay. Take care, my friend. Let's grab the next caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Billy Sinamba here. How are you?
Hey, Billy. Hey, how are things up north?
Well, I think they are fine. It's getting colder, and every time I read about, but Taiwan is 80-something degrees, and so on, I say that's exactly where I should be.
I see in the Midwest they're getting snow and stuff out that way in the U.S.
Well,
yes,
it always starts. It starts off earlier there, and it's all very complicated.
Mm-hmm.
So, also, half the time I call, I'm talking about my case, but I always hope that, it helps people. There are just 3 quick points I want to make.
Okay.
In trying to get this judgment, which has been delayed now for 13 weeks, by the way, on Wednesday, it will be 13 weeks since we got the draft. So I don't know what is taking 13 weeks to make typographical corrections. But anyway, since I ran out of my options, I've written to the Deputy Governor. And I've said, Deputy Governor, please can you consider going to Cabinet and asking Cabinet to make a decision to direct the Attorney General to write to the Chief Justice and say, Chief Justice, what's the problem with delivering this judgment? Because it will cause us a problem, and if you need any logistical support, please tell us what the problem is, because ultimately, if the person has to sue again, he will sue us. And I am hoping that the deputy governor will look graciously on that and be able to do that.
But you, but before you go any further, Billy, do you think with the Attorney General being the legal advisor to the government, that's why Cabinet could ask him to write to them as their legal advisor?
Yes, because, well, a couple of things. It's a good question, O.C. One is because he's a legal advisor, he's a party to the case as well.
Okay.
He should be as interested in getting the judgment as anybody.
Okay.
In addition to that, FCO have told me that this is something that he or the governor should deal with. So that's part of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that will do that. And by the way, since I used to work for government, I've actually written the cabinet paper for him and said, if you sign off on this, it will be very easy for you.
So you made life easy for him.
I hope he takes that well. You know? Now, second thing, O.C., I did say in relation to this, as I've been boring you with this thing, that I had cited 52 cases before Mr. Justice Ian Kawali and Mr. Justice Mangata and Mr. Justice Ian St. John. I cited 52 cases and they were all ignored. Let me tell you one very good story in 30 seconds.
Okay.
They ignored all those cases to a point where they never even acknowledged them, never dealt with them. You can read all the judgments. They are not even mentioned. But what has happened in the last 2 months is as follows. I've taken those 52 cases and the 7 arguments I made. I have developed 2 academic articles. Mm-hmm. One of them was published in the University of Oxford last week.
Oh.
I actually sent you a link on the For Record email, but I can send it to you again.
Okay.
So it was published in the University of Oxford. And I developed a second one, which is going to be published this month. I just approved the proofs last week. And yet these are the arguments which the 2 judges said, oh, come on, these are totally useless. And that professors in the UK thought that these cases which talk about the Cayman Islands are worth publishing. But otherwise, that's what has happened. Meanwhile, I'm still waiting for the legal ombudsman in the UK to tell me whether my complaint against Mr. Justice Ian Kawali will be successful. Otherwise, thank you very much, O.C. I look forward to your show. I hope your government people show up, you see, because they shouldn't leave you hanging.
Well, I'm wondering whether or not they're boycotting me or what. No, only kidding.
I thought I should selfishly come in knowing you'll give me more time because of that. Thanks very much. I appreciate it, O.C.
Take care, Billy. Okay, we have 2 more calls, but we need to take that commercial break, Miss Susan, first. And we will take those 2 callers when we return, so please stay tuned. For the Record, we'll be back shortly.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointment.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Ask our professional team about the benefits of cutting-edge technology with MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
Make your house into a home. Welcome to Brand Source Home Gallery, your source for premium products and a premium experience. We'll design and install your dream kitchen with crafted cabinets, complemented with elegant appliances. We'll fill it with quality houseware and cookware. Custom-designed closet and storage solutions organize and beautify any area. And with the finest bedding, you'll get a perfect night's sleep knowing Brand Source Home Gallery has everything you need to make your house a home.
Come on, Cayman. Let's get ready to reopen. Countries all over the world are proving life can go on and we can safely coexist with COVID-19 in our community. With open borders, our readiness will be vital to protect each other and our islands. We can do this. Have your voice heard and pledge you are ready to safely reopen. Visit reopencayman.com. Join the movement and pledge that you are ready to reopen on November 22.
COVID-19 vaccines are the only way forward in reopening our borders safely.
Take the COVID-19 vaccine to protect yourself and the ones you love, especially those of us who cannot get vaccinated. For more information on the COVID-19 vaccine, visit www.gov.ky/coronavirus.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. I just want to explain something. That commercial that just ran before, we don't want to appear to be sending mixed signals to everyone out there. I think that does talk about reopening on the 22nd, but we know that the government announced now that it will be on the 20th. So Radio Cayman will have to do a little bit of homework there, and that was from an outside agency or entity. So we'll have to get that amended somewhat so that it is in accord with government's announcement as well. Let's go back to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you doing?
You didn't get the booster yet?
No, I went straight home Friday evening because I saw all of the vehicles there, and but I was told that many of the cars represent the persons who are working there as opposed to it. So, but I have 2 shots at it today. There's it's open from 11 to 3, and then from 4:30 to 7 p.m.
Sounds good. What I call about can we find, or can't we find a Caymanian or 2 to put at the airport for security checkpoint?
Who are they using now?
Well,
private security company or CAA staff?
I am not sure whether it's the Flowers Group or which one it is. But I had an experience because I'm actually in the Brock.
Okay.
Enjoying the good hospitality of Susan's people up here.
Okay.
And I have a FAA-approved travel kit bag or pouch or whatever you want to call it. See-through that holds your liquids and gels and all that kind of good stuff. I've been traveling with it now for the past 5 years. Never had an issue until yesterday. And I told the security lady, I said, hey, look, this is an FAA-approved bag. Oh, it has to be inside of a quart-sized bag. Like I said, I've been traveling 5 years now with it.
So
no issues whatsoever.
So what was the result? Did you actually speak to a supervisor?
No, everybody just stand up and look at me while I'm telling her that it's an approved bag.
Oh.
Not a soul said a word, and it was like 5 or 6 of them there.
Okay.
And she insisted that it go in a quart-sized bag, so she pulls out a quart-sized bag and proceeds to take everything out and make sure that it fits in a quart-sized bag. Now, I mean, it is a FAA-approved bag or pouch, and it can only hold the amount of the quart-sized bag. And she still proceeded to take everything out to put in a quart-sized bag. And I mean, after she see that it fit, she now say, "Well, oh, I'm sorry," or and nothing. These are things that should be common sense, but it ain't that common. But I'm just wondering, whether we can find some of our own people that we got to bring in, foreign nationals. And
yeah, that question has been asked over and over and over again, and I think that the reopening is going to bring some of it to the head because people are going to be wanting to know how many new work permits are being issued during this reopening and what the position is in relation to unemployed Caymanians as well. As a matter of fact, one of the previous callers that I didn't get to engage him in too much conversation when he was asking about the motivation behind them wanting to open. But I hope that they are as enthusiastic about hiring Caymanians and about getting Caymanians back to work as they are about opening the borders as well. Let's see if there is equal voice, if they have equal voice with that.
Thank you, O.C.
Okay. Thank you very much as well. Let's go to the phone lines again. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, neighbor.
Morning. How art thou?
Somebody can hit you with a stick, that's all I'm saying.
Well, I believe they hit me already. I look like I'm getting boycotted this morning.
Oh, Lord. I said, but, all these little business lessons and, all that kind of stuff should be given to people at the school age, high school level. People who went through the American system, you're getting that from grade 10.
Yep.
Solid to grade 12. So that you know and you understand what business is all about. But, unfortunately, they kind of like, I don't know, they might not be on board. So our people really don't understand. They believe in what they know or what they feel. And it's as far away from the truth as it's possible it could be. But all I'm saying, look here, somebody can hit you.
Well, you see the U.S. now, the whole debate about critical race theory. In the Cayman Islands, we're going to have to go through something called the critical nationality theory in Cayman. That's okay. I got my helmet. I have my helmet on.
Oh, okay. Oh, Lord. Well, folks on the ground, people that got a little common sense, is really not too common, but people like me and you, we've been asking that question a long time.
Yes.
And you have dedicated your work life in Cayman to trying to keep it straight. And the rest of us who lagging behind, listen, I'll call you later.
Okay.
When supplies are scarce, when the little postage size terra firma not increasing in any exponential way, because they increases it in about 3-4 feet of the water's edge, and then that still came out.
Yeah.
But it is not good enough. That's not enough. When we come to understand as generational Caymanians that nobody defies gravity without manipulation of the science of gravity, when we understand that we no longer have terra firma to stand on, when we begin to have to push each other off of the little 12-inch square that we standing on, with the granny and Ari and the cat and the dog, we got poodles too, because, we fashionable. And everything, when we only got 12 inches, then I believe the realization might hit some of us. And I want the most sensible out of us to understand that we're going to have to instruct, we're going to have to talk, we're going to have to preach to the rest who don't want to understand what this is all about. So everything we go through, and we're going to have to do the race thing too, because
quite possible.
Our own don't want to be out for certain thing, And I want to tell everybody in Cayman who's a generational Caymanian again, that you are looked at no different than I am looked at. And I got kinky hair, thick lips, fat all over. And, all those kinds of nice things. They don't have I tell my Caymanian white friends, listen, baby, I know who I am, because if I have any sense, I will want to know who I am just for survival. You might know who you are, but they don't have no different set of protocols for me than they have for you.
So true.
And they're looking at you as they look at me, generational Caymanian. But we are governed by the same thing. So I want all the Caymanian of lighter complexion to know, I love all Caymanians. But they treat you the same way they treat me. I understand that. I'm solid black. You need to understand certain things too. Anyway, baby, I'm going to hit you with a stick. Keep running, keep right.
Okay, we'll talk. Miss Susan, top of the hour. Do it now or... What time for one call? Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello, good morning, Miss Osi.
Hey, morning, my friend. How art thou?
Yeah, heaven straight. Miss Osi, every fast note. Miss Osi, yesterday, the Senate Committee, they passed through my premises, right? they conducted, right? And I reminded the fellow, listen, I'm aware that the information is critical. It's not going to the law enforcement. Not be paranoid or be warm or nothing. And I wanted what Mr. O see differently. 2 weeks before the last election, a gentleman comes to my premises, right?
Yep.
Right? False. He really came and mention it a week later. Disregard that. Right? This won't be inquisitive. Which political affiliation are you with? My desire, whatever. You see where I'm from? So that's staying on the grass. So, like I said again, I tell the fellow yesterday, I see under around the community, one person on an island, right? And have the indigo vest, your tablet, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right? Okay, but like I said, OC, that gentleman, I know who sent him, the pre-approved me, you understand? You see where I'm from? So, stay on the grass. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and the person from the census properly identified themselves and everything. So you're happy that in terms of who they were, yeah.
Anyway, I wasn't paranoid or nothing, but I recall 2 weeks before the election. I mentioned it with the inundated information. They mentioned it, so I give props for that.
Yeah.
Good day, man.
You too, my friend. Take care. Please stay safe as well. Top of the hour headline news. When we return, the conversation will continue, so please stay tuned.
You are listening to Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice. Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
In a Sunday evening YouTube broadcast, the leader of the opposition pleaded for government to release more details about the country's planned November 20th reopening. The opposition is meeting with government members this week who have offered to give them a presentation on their reopening plan. The opposition says they are looking forward to working together for the, quote, benefit of the people. Sudan's military has dissolved civilian rule, arrested political leaders, and declared a state of emergency. The general who has been heading the joint council with civilian leaders blamed political infighting. Protesters have taken to the streets of the capital Khartoum, and there are reports of gunfire. And actor Alec Baldwin was drawing a revolver across his body and pointing it at a camera during a rehearsal on a U.S. film set when it fired with tragic results, according to legal documents. Cinematographer Helena Hutchins was killed and director Joel Souza was injured while filming Rust on Thursday. Affidavits containing statements from Souza and camera operator Reed Russell have shed more light on what happened. Baldwin was handed a prop gun and told it was unloaded, according to court documents. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We still have callers on hold, Ms. Susan. Okay, we do have one caller, and we will take that caller in a minute. I just want to share with you the release by government in relation to the ex gratia stipend that is available to families who are families under required home isolation from public health. And it reads, the PAC government has approved $1 million in funding for an ex gratia stipend to be paid to Caymanians and permanent residency holders who have lost earnings due to required public health home isolation. The stipend will be available through the end of the year. Deputy Premier and Minister for Border Control and Labor, the Honorable Chris Saunders, is quoted as saying, the government is aware of the hardship COVID-19 isolation can take on households and particularly on those families with smaller trade and service-based employers who are not able to work remotely from their place of isolation. When these employees are placed into isolation, it is possible that some portion of that period will be unpaid. This situation is particularly difficult when a household has more than one breadwinner in isolation and the loss of income is multiplied. To qualify for the ex gratia stipend, potential recipients must meet the following criteria. They must have been in public health directed isolation. You must be in a non-traveler related isolation or quarantine. You must attest to not receiving a salary from your employer, or if self-employed, must show that you are not able to work from isolation. You must provide a declaration that you are not receiving holiday pay or similar compensation. You must not be in an existing tourism displaced worker stipend recipient. You must be Caymanian or a permanent resident or married to a Caymanian with employment rights certificate. That's the RERC. Applications for the ex gratia stipend can be submitted online and must include the necessary relevant documents. And I will give you those documents later on because we've had that caller holding for quite a while. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yes, good morning, O.C. Top of the morning to you.
Good morning. Same to you, my friend.
All right. First, let me wish a very special happy birthday to Cousin Cordella McLean of the BRAC.
Okay.
Better known as Doll Doll.
Uh-huh.
Secondly, I wish to convey my deepest condolences to the family of the late Jerry Harper.
Yes.
Who was definitely a sports icon in the Cayman Islands. We did a lot of travel together, so like the CAC Games, Pan Am Games, Carissa Games, and the Miami Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Third thing, we the public are hearing nothing more about Wayne Jackson. He was the head of hospitality studies at the UCCI for financial irregularities.
Yes.
From what we're hearing, he has also left the country.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's like another Saeed fiasco. Yeah. Again. So just wanted to know if you had heard anything on that so far.
No, I haven't. I haven't heard anything on that. I'm not sure what sort of effort is being made by law enforcement in these situations. I don't know if you recall, several years ago, there was a person who was a crew member on board one of the dive vessels that was had allegedly raped one of the cruise ship tourists, and that person absconded from the Cayman Islands as well. We haven't heard any more about that. Now, these days, you don't really have to be any sort of sleuth to be able to know that many of these persons are active on social media. And that is one way to find out where they are and to make the efforts to bring them back to face justice. When our Caymanians leave and decide to go and reside in the UK or somewhere else for a while, that stop notice is there waiting for them when they come back home. And in most instances, at some point in time, they eventually come back home. We need to make the same efforts, or at least appear to be making the same efforts to extradite those persons who are charged with crimes in the Cayman Islands and who have absconded as well. They're sending a wrong, a wrong message if we don't see an effort being made for that with that.
Okay, thanks, Sophie. Have a good day.
Thank you very much as well. Okay, we have another caller. No caller. Okay, so folks, I was sharing with you the stipend situation. So in order for you to qualify for the stipend, I'm going to repeat all of those again. You must have been in public health directed isolation. That is, that public health would have had to have directed you to be in isolation. That's number one. 2, you must be in a non-traveler related isolation quarantine. So if you decided that you were going to travel overseas for whatever reason and you're in isolation, you're not going to qualify for this stipend. You must also attest to not receiving a salary from your employer, or if you're self-employed, you must show that you are not able to work from isolation. I'm going to pause there for a second and hope and I trust that when it comes to the tourism-related stipend as well, that is being monitored as closely as it should be, so that if those persons are employed in other professions, if what they're doing now as far as work is concerned and their salary exceeds what they were making in the tourism-related industry, they shouldn't be receiving that tourism stipend. Because let's say, for instance, if they were making $2,000 a month in the tourism field, but they have now gotten a job for $2,500 a month, they shouldn't be receiving that additional $2,000 as well. Just wanted to add that in there, and someone may want to respond to that as well. So you must provide a declaration that you are not receiving holiday pay or similar compensation. Now, what they haven't said with this declaration, whether or not it needs to be notarized or what, I think that would be important as well. If you're making a declaration, it should be witnessed by someone. It should be signed by you as well, because I would say that it is a legally binding document that you would have signed there. You must not be in an existing tourism displaced worker stipend recipient. You must not be that. You must be Caymanian or a permanent resident or married to a Caymanian with an employment residency and employment rights certificate. Applications for the ex gratia stipend can be submitted online and must include the necessary relevant documents. They include a copy of a Cayman Islands voter registration card, Caymanian status certificate, or right to be Caymanian certificate. I would imagine what should have been included in that, if you're married to Caymanian and you are in possession of an residency and employment rights certificate, I would imagine that they would want that as well, even though it doesn't say so here. You must also have a copy of the last pay slip or official job letter. You must provide banking details and that is to facilitate electronic funds transfer, or you must provide a postal address for delivery of a check. You must provide a copy of the letter from the public health mandating isolation or quarantine. So that again will place additional pressures on the public health department to provide you with that letter. I believe last week that something may have been announced in that regard as well. But again, everything has to be scrutinized, and at the end of the day, anyone dispensing these funds have to ensure that they have dotted all of their I's and crossed all of their T's as well. And the release goes on to say that the health and safety of our population has been and remains at the heart of all policy decisions relating to the reopening of our borders. It's important that we protect the community as much as possible from widespread COVID-19, but we understand that while isolation or quarantine protocols are required, it may cause a financial burden to some. It is the hope that this ex gratia stipend will help to reduce the stress and worry that people feel during these times. That was a quote from the Deputy Premier, Honorable Chris Saunders, as well. And if you want to apply online, you can visit www.gov.ky /labor/stipend and view the necessary documents required, or you can email stipend@gov.ky with any questions as well. So $1 million has been appropriated to that stipend. You can apply up until the end of the year as well. There are specific and strict requirements for you to adhere to in order, and documentation to be provided in order for you to qualify for that stipend as well. What else can I share with you? Lots of stuff. We're going to share with you the opposition's response to the press briefing on Friday as well. So, folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Had a look at those investment options yet?
Too busy. Look at today. Workout, breakfast, take the kids to school, back-to-back meetings, take Pepper to the vet, and she's apparently got allergies now, so... And that was all before 12. But you look relaxed.
That's because my money's as busy as you.
With RF, you can access the best in local and international investments to keep your money busy, so you can spend more time focusing on you. Contact us at rfgroup.com to find out more. RF, money at work.
Since March 2004, West Bay Pharmacy has kept their doors open to the local communities, even before, during, and after Hurricane Ivan. At West Bay Pharmacy, our staff provides so much more than pharmaceutical excellence. From the moment you walk through our doors to completing your cash out, our staff will have put your healthcare concerns at ease. We would like to take this moment to thank our loyal friends and customers. To us at West Bay Pharmacy, our patients are our primary concern. We provide thorough background checks and precise calculations to ensure your medical safety. Thank you for being a part of our family and for choosing West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
We are now in the hurricane season, and to survive a hurricane, you need to be informed. If you have been informed by official sources that a hurricane is approaching the Cayman Islands, and you live in a low-lying area that is prone to flooding or near the beaches, which may be swept by high tides or storm waves, please seek a safe place and high ground. If the only way for you to get to a safe place is a road that is also likely to be flooded during a storm, please leave home early. Don't run the risk of being stranded. This has been a public service announcement from your community station, Radio Cayman.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have a very interesting query, and I don't have the answer to it, but I'm going to put it out there, and then we'll see whether or not we get a response from it as well. So in order for you to qualify for the ex gratia payment, the $1 million, or a portion of it, you wouldn't qualify for the whole million, a portion of the $1 million dollar ex gratia payment points out that you must be Caymanian, permanent residency, person married to Caymanian with a residency and employment's right certificate. Question is, if you are a work permit holder and you have been required to be in isolation by public health, by the health authorities, do you qualify? Based on what I have read, the answer is no. Whether or not that was considered, whether or not they were aware that there were work permit holders who were in isolation as a result of a request by public health. Not sure. But that's an interesting observation there. If the employer is not footing the bill, if the employer is not continuing to pay them while they are in required isolation, that is something that I am sure needs to be considered, needs to be looked into as well. So what did the opposition have to say about the government press briefing? And this was released 24th of October, which would have been yesterday, from the Honorable Roy McTaggart, Leader of the Opposition and Political Leader of the Progressives. And he speaks to the November 20th reopening. And it reads, "Fellow Caymanians and residents, greetings to you all. On Tuesday, October the 19th, on behalf of the country, I asked Honorable Premier Wayne Patton to clarify the government's plan for reopening. I asked him to provide the country with a reopening date and the details on managing the reopening, particularly to confirm how the government was preparing our health systems to handle the anticipated increase in infections as the borders opened. Finally, I asked for additional clarity on how people would be supported when having to isolate, particularly those now in isolation because of community spread and those after the reopening should the infections materialize. As we know, on Friday afternoon, the Premier and government provided the country with a broad outline of the aims and objectives of the reopening plan, which they have named the Cayman Islands COVID-19 Critical Preparedness, Readiness, and Response Plan. The Premier also advised the date to transition to the next reopening phase was November 20th. I thank the Premier for listening to the opposition and the broader public's concerns and shedding some light on how the government thinks about reopening. Seeing the broad outline of the reopening plan and learning of the proposed new date is undoubtedly welcome. We are all now finally getting a glimpse of the government's strategy and preparedness for reopening, albeit at a very high level. But it is not lost on me or the public that the country's critical preparedness, readiness, and response plan is still very much a work in progress. Yet, we are less than 30 days away from the newly announced opening date. As the Deputy Governor said at the press briefing, the public has a right to see every component of the plan. I couldn't agree more. I also agree with the Deputy Governor that the public expects the government to prove that we are ready to reopen. As the Premier and government acknowledge, there is still a lot of work to be done to adequately prepare to reopen and provide the necessary assurances to the country. The country is looking forward to full details of the plan to be made public before we get to November 20th. Before I close, I can advise that on Thursday, October the 21st, I received an email from Premier Patton inviting the opposition to attend a presentation this week on the reopening plan. I expect that this will allow the opposition the opportunity to better understand the details of the plan outlined last Friday. Again, I thank the Premier for the invitation. Our political views may differ, but I know that the love we both have for these islands and our people is without question. Premier Patton, the opposition members look forward to meeting with you and your colleagues this week and hopefully working together for the benefit of our people as we move to the reopening of our borders. May God be with you, and may He continue to bless and protect our beloved Cayman Islands. So, there we heard it from the leader of the opposition. I would venture to say, I would categorize this release as very conciliatory. I would categorize it as the opposition reaching out to assist and to support the government in its reopening plan as well. So let's see what occurs after that meeting and what the plans are. But this is a situation where we need everyone to work together, to safely reopen our borders. If we succeed, if they succeed, we all succeed. If they fail, many of us will fail. There are those who are able to succeed even when others fail because they find themselves in a much more advantageous position, either from a financial standpoint or their ability to transition to another jurisdiction if this jurisdiction proves not to be the one that they want to be in any longer. But it is important for us here in the Cayman Islands that we succeed. And we all need to do our part in order for us to succeed, including folks getting vaccinated, And for those of you who feel that you need to have the booster shot, or whom authorities feel you should have a booster shot because of your condition, again, we would encourage you to go ahead and do your part as well and get vaccinated. I'm not an expert. I'm not a medical person, but as events throughout the world have shown, that when we believe that we are out of the woods with COVID-19 is when it raises its ugly head again. So we cannot be complacent. We cannot say that we're out of the woods. We still have another 26 days to go before that date for reopening. Anything can or happen during that period of time as well. We don't know, but again, we need to all continue to do our part to assist in us all being successful in reopening as well. Okay, bang, bang, bang. I have a Tradewinds newspaper that I want to share with you. This one should be extremely interesting to all of you. 1966, the 27th of October, 1966, proposed legislation viewed with alarm. And this is a piece of legislation that we still hear some persons calling for in the Cayman Islands. And let's see what that says. We're going to take the commercial break, Miss Susan. And when we return, I will share this article with you from the 27th of October, 1966 Tradewinds newspaper. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vamt Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vamt Motors, Walkers Road.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointment.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Ask our professional team about the benefits of cutting-edge technology with MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
Had a look at those investment options yet?
Too busy. Look at today. Workout, breakfast, take the kids to school, back-to-back meetings, take Pepper to the vet, and she's apparently got allergies now, so... And that was all before 12. But you look relaxed.
That's because my money's as busy as you.
With RF, you can access the best in local and international investments to keep your money busy, so you can spend more time focusing on you. Contact us at rfgroup.com to find out more. RF, money at work.
Are you interested in learning more about providing great service during COVID-19? The Cayman Islands Department of Tourism invites you to sign up for a free training course, Aquila Service Excellence COVID-19 Edition. This free training will provide guidance on how to interact with customers while adhering to COVID-19 protocols. Sessions will be held every Wednesday in October. For more information and to register, head to aquila.ourcayman.ky. That's aquila.ourcayman.ky. Deadline to register is the Monday before each session.
For the record with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio, so the phone lines are open for you to call in if you have any questions or observations as well. This listener has written in and said, good morning, OC. As we prepare to open, government, the Department of Tourism, Cayman Islands Tourism Association, and other tourism-related establishments must be mindful of the enormous responsibility to the community for the health and safety, best practice in our normal community. As our normal community mingle with the opening of our borders, our overseas clients must be made mindful through signage and audio-visual instructions at ports of entry, visible to all who arrive, that this community adheres to the best practice of wearing masks and keeping social distance. Visitors must be made aware that the onus of basic personal responsibility to comply is in place. There are visitors who are persuaded to act ultra-virus or regulations, claiming ignorance, superiority, and of a political persuasion with manifest disregard for our standards. We need to politely put them on notice. We welcome our visitors with open arms, but with the understanding that we have a responsibility to visitors and residents alike. And they go on to say the same person will react to each shot differently, having varied reactions. With all challenges, every jab saves us from illness, like I have said before as well. But we're going to get reactions to it. That is why I said I was going to hold off on mine, so in the event that I had any adverse reaction, it wouldn't interrupt my cycling on the weekend. But I'm going to ensure that I accelerate my effort to to get vaccinated. Okay, so folks, 27th of October, 1966, and here we are today, 55 years later, proposed legislation viewed with alarm. And it reads, proposed legislation to be voted before the House of Assembly, that's what it was called then, the following week, has aroused grumbles of discontent from many Cayman Islands businesses and property owners. Foremost amongst the protested bills is one which would impose a personal tax based on one's capability to earn on all males resident between the ages of 18 and 60 years old. So the bill that was being proposed would impose a personal tax. That tax would be based on a person's capability to earn, and it would be on all male residents between the ages of 18 and 60 years old. Remember now, this is 55 years ago. The bill, if approved by the Legislative Assembly, would tax workers here in 3 categories. A person's capability of earnings not exceeding £500 per year would pay £1 per annum. Persons capable of earning in excess of £500 per year, but not exceeding £1,500 per annum, would pay £2.50 per year. Not a whole lot of money. Well, in those days, it might have been a whole lot of money, as well. And then persons capable of earning exceeding £1,500 per annum would pay £5 per annum as well. And then it goes, this is a quote, "It is simply ridiculous to try and assess taxes on a person's capabilities. You wouldn't get that even in Russia," was the immediate response of one Caymanian businessman, Mr. Dalkeith Borden, garage and service station owner. In places where income tax is assessed, people are taxed on their earnings, not on what they are capable of earning. What has happened to that royal decree that the Cayman Islands would always be exempt from taxes or compulsory military service, Mr. Borden went on to say. We have to do some more research about that, or have to ask Dr. Steve about that whole thing about taxation and the military service to see whether or not there is documentation to that effect as well. So the article goes on to talk about the fact that it says Mr. Dalkeith, neither he nor scores of other business and property owners here were completely satisfied with the proposed bill, 5 of which apparently will hit the island's pocketbooks. Another bill, which brought grumbles of protest, is one amending the motor vehicles law, which business owners charged would drive out the tourists and put us on a blacklist all over the world. And speaking of blacklists, there are some who are inquiring now as to where we are with the OECD and whether or not we're likely to be gray-listed or blacklisted again. But I believe that there was something that has been issued recently about Financial Action Task Force. I'll try to find that and share that with you also. So that motor vehicles bill, the proposed law, the Motor Vehicles Amendment number 3, reads in part, although the maximum penalties for a first offense of careless driving contains a section 17 it has something to do offense careless driving contained in section 17 are high. There is a certain class of persons here who have plenty of money. So the person said it really would be affecting the persons with less money. Let me cover two things with this before I go on to the rest of the article. I believe in 1966 there was still something in the Cayman Islands called a head tax that we had to pay, and you paid that head tax. In many instances, the government would be able to collect it when men were shipping off to go to sea. They had to ensure that that head tax was paid before they left the country. And bear in mind, this legislation that was being considered on the basis of a person's capability to earn as opposed to what they actually would earn, which I believe Mr. Dalkeith was right at that time. And, if he were around, God bless his soul, probably would be similar today. I'm not aware of any country where you're taxed based on your ability to earn as opposed to your actual earnings as well. Ms. Susan, let's take that commercial break now, and then I can scroll down and find the remainder of this article. And then we're going to talk about the efforts in the BRAC to build a hospital in 1966 as well. Don't want to leave the BRACers out, even though we don't hear too much from them these days. We did hear from number one the other day, and I hope that he's feeling much better, as well. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Make your house into a home. Welcome to Brand Source Home Gallery, your source for premium products and a premium experience. We'll design and install your dream kitchen with crafted cabinets, complemented with elegant appliances. We'll fill it with quality houseware and cookware. Custom-designed closet and storage solutions organize and beautify any area. And with the finest bedding, you'll get a perfect night's sleep knowing Brand Source Home Gallery has everything you need to make your house a home.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vant Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vant Motors, Walkers Road.
You can now register to receive a securely verified digital copy of your COVID-19 vaccination status with QR code through the My HSA patient portal. Sign up is available at all HSA locations and at various sites throughout the community. To register, all you need is your photo ID showing date of birth and a valid email address. Visit hsa.ky and click My HSA Patient Portal for the sign-up schedule and more information.
Help your children stay safe by teaching them to make safe choices every day. Marijuana can be harmful to a child's growing brain. It is important to have a conversation with your child from a young age about what marijuana is and how it can be harmful to their developing brain. For tips, log on to www.ndc.ky. This message was brought to you by the National Drug Council and Radio Cayman.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We're on the last leg of the show this morning. One of our listeners has written in and said that they believe that the head tax remained in effect through 1983 in the Cayman Islands. That head tax remained in effect as well. And someone else has said that I know up to 1984. So one person has said 83, one says 1984. So between 83 and 84, this person says, or sometime time thereabouts, Caymanian had to pay a head tax once you reach age 18. I remember paying it. I was born, and that person said that they were born in 1966, and they remember paying it. I know the men who were going to sea had to pay it, and in some instances they actually had to borrow the money to be able to pay the head tax to be able to, what we would call those days, to ship out. They had to pay that head tax as well, and they believe that in 1983 that our national hero, the Honorable James Manoa Borden, may have changed that in Cayman. Good topic, a good area for us to do some additional research on as well. So getting back to these bills that were going to our Legislative Assembly in 1966 as well, Mr. Dalkeith also felt that those persons who were going abroad, that disqualification of their driver's license meant nothing to them, because they would be leaving anyway. But it was felt that some sort of jail sentence needed to be imposed. Some prison sentence needed to be imposed in order to address the whole issue of bad driving, speeding, accidents in the Cayman Islands. And one person is quoted as saying, "Whomever wrote up that one certainly doesn't make his money off tourists. If you start throwing tourists in jail, we'll ruin our whole economy," a business owner said. Several other important bills are to be placed before the members of the Legislative Assembly, and because many of them are reportedly controversial, a meeting has been scheduled at the old courthouse that night, where many questions would be answered. And if my memory serves me correctly, that proposed bill on taxation was eventually withdrawn. Similarly, there was a bill in relation to daylight savings time that was withdrawn. That was being proposed in the Cayman Islands as well, and that was withdrawn. And for those of you who are curious, there's a nice photograph here and an article all in a day's work. Sam the fisherman, and it's showing him holding up what those days we call it a queen fish, but he was holding up a wahoo. Who then went right back out that day and snagged a 300-pound, 8-foot blue marlin on the same day as well. Sam the fisherman. Let's go to the phone lines. I believe we have a caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Connor.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
All right. You were just mentioning that thing about the head tax. Yeah, those of us who were around, would clearly remember that, and then it was discontinued. It got me thinking about another fee that we used to pay that was discontinued, and I think that particular one has been to our detriment. And I'm speaking about the garbage collection fees. Now, if you remember, garbage collection fees weren't a whole lot. I think it might have been $100 per annum, I believe, is what it was.
Yeah, somewhere around there, yes.
Yeah, and it was discontinued, saying that a lot of the fees had been uncollected, and that's why it didn't make sense. Of course, that's absurd logic or reasoning, because if you apply that, you would say, okay, well, we'll stop charging to licensed cars or post boxes because some people don't pay, that kind of thing. Now, why I'm saying it was detrimental, it's clear to me that around the time when that happened, coupled with a few other things, increase in population and all that, we just have a garbage situation in this country that it's becoming, deplorable. It's really bad. Now, if fees were being paid, I believe the department would get some funding directly from that to help them keep up with it. And it's time for us to go to a much more standardized type garbage collection, meaning that even the receptacles that are used are issued by the DEH, that everybody has exactly the same, and they're huge. They have wheels, they can hold the garbage, and if garbage isn't being kept properly or people aren't paying their fees, there has to be a way of enforcing some sort of, fee, some sort of thing to discourage them from doing that.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, I've lived in countries where every year you have to pay that fee, and you're actually paying rental for those same very sturdy, very, very, things that are able to keep your garbage securely and protect it from the animals and all that. It's really discouraging to drive around Cayman and see, that's what, in my opinion, making us appear to look like, you hear people referring to third world countries or whatever. That's one of the great contributing things that's making us look so bad. These mountains of overflowing garbage, and sometimes you see it by a residence that should only, perhaps have 4 people in it, but the amount of litter and waste and is showing it clearly. There are more people, or it's just not being picked up on a regular basis. I think we need to regularize that, reinstate an annual fee, because, I have a hard time with people who say the government should do this, the government should do that. Where does the government get the money from?
And then maybe
where does the government get its money from?
Yeah, and maybe then they can increase the regularity of the pickup if they're charging a fee as well.
It used to be 3 times a week. Where I live, our garbage used to be picked up 3 times per week. That you never had the problem with the smell and the flies, and the garbage was picked up 3 times per week back when, prior to 2004. Prior to 2004, I clearly recall our garbage home collection was 3 days per week, and then it went to 2. Now it's down to 1. And if they say it's because they don't have the equipment, I can believe it. They need to reintroduce the fees to help cover the expense.
Okay, call
provide a good service.
While you're still on the line, one of our listeners has written in and said that they believe that the garbage fee may have been incorporated into an importation fee.
They said something like that, but that is, don't mix it all up in one pot and make a boil up.
Yes.
There was only a portion of it. The portion that pertained to the disposal of vehicles is what I recall. At the time when they made the change, they said something was being added. That's my recollection. Nevertheless, even if I'm not correct on that, separate this thing out so DEH gets their funding directly from the collection of their fees, just as there should be a road tax that pays to keep the roads.
And you don't commingle those funds.
Don't do
you
it.
ring fence them.
And you don't know who's getting what.
Yes.
Don't commingle.
Yeah.
Keep each man separate. Let him be accountable for his. And it has to be a much simpler accounting when each one is getting their revenue and having their expenses accounted for separately. That's how I would do it anyway.
Okay, caller?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Okay, let's go to the Brack Hospital. 1966, 55 years ago, and it was reported by the late Keith Parker Tibbetts that Cayman Brack Men's Fellowship Society has announced plans to promote and build a public hospital in Cayman Brack for the saving of lives and economic reasons. A committee of 4, including Mr. Lee King, chairman, Mr. Bernard Tibbetts, Ronald Wright, and Ernest Foster, secretary, has been selected by the fellowship to promote the hospital project. The fellowship said the hospital will be an asset to the island for the saving of lives and economic reasons, pointing out that in the past, Brackers have had to pay transportation to and from their neighboring islands and board and lodging whilst there. This transportation, board, and lodge have cost more in most cases than the medical fees themselves. These costs have been hard to meet, and the amounts have been lost to the economy of Cayman Brack. And that was part of what was released in the press release from the fellowship as well. Goes on to say that the hospital, when completed, will include private rooms, open wards, operating room, laboratory, x-ray, and adequate maternity facilities. The press release is quoted again as saying, this will mean sacrifice on the part of all who are interested in this project. If it were possible for each person at home and abroad to give £3, which was, I think, the equivalent of £3 those days was $10 or more, we could easily reach a goal of £5,000 to £8,000, which will be adequate for the hospital's construction. And it goes on to say then that your donation may be sent to Cayman Brack Hospital Building Fund, CC, Barclays Bank, DCO, Stake Bay, Cayman Brack. All donations of any amount will be deeply appreciated, the press release said as well. So there we saw the kickoff and the start to establishing a hospital in Cayman Brack. And those of you who know the history of that, from there on in terms of what transpired and how we got to where we are today as far as the Faith Hospital is concerned, please share that with us as well. Brackers, we want to know your history as well. And surprisingly, there are people in Grand Cayman who don't know too much about the Brack as well. So when you get an opportunity, please share that with us as well. Let me see what else I can share with you in the last 2 minutes of the show today. Do we have any other thing on Tradewinds newspapers that we would want to share with you? Let's look around and see as well. Tradewinds newspaper. Okay. Well, this one, it would take quite a while, but when rent-a-cars were introduced in the Cayman Islands, There was a huge uproar about that as well. And in that case, taxmen, car rental firms, and taxis and car rental firms were at war with each other. And the Tradewinds newspaper reported about that a little war was taking place between tax operators and proprietors of car rental firms of Grand Cayman, and indications are that things could get pretty worse in no time. In fact, one of the island's most prominent taxmen has told the editor of the newspaper, if they don't give me a fair deal, then everyone will hear about it. And reason for the grouse was because the taxmen claimed that the government of the Cayman Islands is behind a move to have visitors to Grand Cayman rent cars either at front desk at hotels or immediately after they disembark at Owen Roberts Airport, and this would oust the taxmen out of the picture and right out of business. Well, we know that when new things are introduced, there is always fear, but I can't speak for the taxi drivers today, but we have seen that taxi drivers and car rental firms have been able to coexist in the Cayman Islands, because I believe that with all of the demand for vehicles in the Cayman Islands by tourists, whether or not the taxi drivers would be able to accommodate all of the demands that are there would be questionable as well. But it goes to show you where we came from, how we had to struggle, how sometimes we had to butt heads with each other, but at the end of the day, the Cayman Islands ended up in a good place as well. One of these days, I will share with you other articles from this date and time, and talk about the LaFontaine Hotel, the building of LaFontaine Hotel as well. Folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. I also want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. So I say to you, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join me at 12:15 for Talk Today, as I expected. I will be covering for Sterling, Dwayne Ebanks again, and as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza, your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331. West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health. And RF Group, money at work.
Today's biggest news.